Friends, is the all-new Mercedes-Benz GL. Wait for it. You've seen the title anyway, but oh, look at the long wheelbase. Nope, it's not a GLE, it's a GLS. This actually, I think this is, no, let me try that again. This is one of my absolute favorite SUVs and has been since the first time I drove it in 2007. It was a GL at the time. 450 was black, it was a tan interior. My goodness, did I love it, and I still do. Mercedes has always done right by the big SUV. There's what I would call, and it's like a sentiment that has always stuck with the GLS. There's a quiet distinction about it. It's not boisterous. I am obviously talking about non-AMG versions, but it just sits powerfully, doesn't say a word, always ready to deliver quietness, comfortness, safety, all of that. It just, I don't know. There's elegance and muscularity and power all rolled into one. And what you can't see now from this angle, obviously, is the fact that it does measure 5.21 meters long from tip to tip. This is a big SUV, but depending on the angle, it's kind of deceiving. I know, it's kind of cool in a way. All right, so base price for a 2020 GLS 450, which is what this is, $93,500. For that money, you get standard air suspension. You get twin 12.3-inch screens on the inside. I'll show them to you in a few moments. You get 7-passenger seating and a whole bunch of other stuff. Essentially, it comes fully loaded. But fully loaded doesn't mean anything anymore, right? Oh, by the way, there's also a GLS 580, which starts at $114,900. But to be quite honest, and even though I've not driven a 580, I won't say no if I'm ever given the chance, but this 450 is absolutely perfect with its turbocharged inline 6. Having said all that, my tester obviously has a number of options because, like I said, fully loaded means nothing. I have the premium package, which includes a 4-zone climate controls, Burmester audio. There's a night package on this thing too, which is very, very cool. It's not just everything blacked out, no chrome. It's these 21-inch AMG wheels, which, by the way, 21s are standard on this thing. You can go up to 23s if you want, but the small wheels are 21s. That makes me laugh. This one also has adaptive dampers, which are wonderful. And with the night package, you also get the big brakes, which I like. It also has the intelligent driver's package, safety crap, second row captain seats for a grand total, and I'm skipping a bunch of options too, of $110,000. Okay, so while I'm here, I'm going to show you something that BMW and Mercedes has done wrong since the very beginning. These crappy running boards. Essentially, they do not assist you to get in and out of the vehicle. No, they just dirty your pant legs and keep your dry cleaning bill nice and high. That's all they're good for. Rant over. All right, so let's pump the trunk. Obviously, a power hatch is standard in this thing. Okay, so I don't have all the numbers, strangely enough. With the third row up, okay, you're looking at 355 liters of trunk space, which is sufficiently decent, I guess. There isn't much storage per se under here. If you do put the second row down, you do get up to 2,400 liters of trunk space. As is, I'm gonna guess about 1,200 beautifully usable and accessible trunk space. Here you have your power operated seats right there. All right, so now I'm getting on board in the second row. Well, everybody's happy, obviously. The kids have their own seats. Plenty of room, put stuff in between. I love this setup with captain seats. It's brilliant. Now you're starting to get an idea here of the fit and finish, attention to detail in these vehicles, stitching. Yes, the rear seats are power operated, fore and aft, and lean, and heated. And look at that. Isn't that not beautiful? Oh yeah, power sunshades. Obviously it's not on, but it also has power sunshades, which I love. Anyway, for kids, for adults, for humans. Third row, however, not the roomiest, but still doable. But now this is where you want to be. Again, the materials, fit, finish, just the textures. Oh, luxury at its finest, I believe. Because seriously, let's turn this thing on. Compared to not a GLS, Bentayga or Cullinan, I don't know why anyone would spend the extra money over this thing. This is, I'm jumping ahead and all over the place. Mercedes-Benz twin 12.3-inch screen layout. Currently, the most attractive, most intuitive setup you can buy in the market. It's far better, in my opinion, than the twin Audi screens, one on top of each other, even with the virtual cockpit. The layout is beautiful. I don't know, there's nothing wrong here. I love the contrasting materials again. The wood, nice, it's so beautiful. What else can I tell you? Well, like you can control it up here with the trackpad, you know, from menu to menu. Buttons up here for the home. You can go straight to the touch screen. And you got a few redundant buttons here too, because this has navigation and everything is programmable. Oh, here is your height adjustment for the suspension. I don't know, I just love soaking in the view from behind the steering wheel. I just drove the GLE, AMG GLE 53 in Europe, and this feels very much at home. And like the GLE, by the way, there are a few things that, I don't know if it's me or this thing has 9 USB-C plugs. 9. I don't have any USB-C wires. I need an adapter, which is my MacBook Pro adapter, so thankfully I have that. Otherwise, my old school USB cables are useless. Is Ben's too far ahead of its time, or am I too far behind? I don't know. That's your wireless charger, by the way. Now, storage is very decent here. Lovely large bin. Extra cup holders. Speaking of bins, door bins. The door bins will hold 2 boxes of Kleenexes. It's just leaned over in there. So here maybe you get a better look over here. No, not really. But there's plenty of storage. And the A-pillar is fat and the mirror mount is fat as well, but because of the slightly higher driving position, you can definitely manage. Forward visibility is fantastic. I love the little shark fin, whatever things on the hood. It looks really good. I mean, the GLS continues to impress me. Continues to be the quiet, distinct, luxurious SUV. And on today's road trip to see my kid's grandfather, well, it worked out beautifully. So let's take a look at what the drive is like. I'm sure you won't be surprised to learn that it's pretty damn good. I love column shifters. Every OEM should just bring them back and get it over and done with. And frees up the center console like I showed you. Yeah, a lot of OEMs have selector wheels. I hate those things. This is just, I don't know, it's a throwback, modern, super cool. Way too much said about the shifter column shifter, sorry. Yeah, driving a GLS, it's absolutely brilliant. I can find nothing seriously wrong with driving this truck. Well, actually, there is one thing. It's a small thing. It's a huge thing, but it's a small thing. And it's the damn freaking enormous panoramic sunroof. With the thaw, with the snow, with the ice, with the cold, all week, this thing has now developed an unhappy rattle because of all the ice on top of it. And because of all the ice on top of it in the shape of the seals and all that, well, it's causing a lot of wind noise on the highway, which is incredibly annoying. Obviously, depending on where you live, and if you park your truck in the garage, that's never an issue. So that's that. Otherwise, you know that quiet distinction I used as a way to describe the GLS? It actually kind of permeates into the cabin, excuse me, takes over, and it just makes you want to chill and relax and enjoy the comfort, the quietness, the refinement, everything this truck was designed to deliver, on top of the space, on top of the incredibly huge amount of amenities. it boggles my mind as to why people would actually spend 2, 3, 4 times more money than what they have. Mercedes-Benz is asking for this on a Bentayga or a Cullinan. It's all here, and it's a Benz. Anyhow, so it's a 450, right? So that means it has the single turbo, twin scroll, 3-liter, straight 6-cylinder engine, which puts out 362 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque from 1600 to 4500 RPM. With the 9-speed automatic transmission and the 4MATIC all-wheel drive, that's enough to send this thing to 100 kilometers an hour in only 6.2 seconds. But seriously, do you really need to get to that speed any faster than that? No, you want a V8? I get it. I love the V8. I'm a huge fan. But if you want a V8 because of extra towing capacity, both of them only tow 3,500 pounds. So there's no difference there. Fuel economy is supposed to be a little bit better with the GLS, but I'm averaging a little over 14 liters per 100 kilometers. But again, I mean, it's huge, it's comfortable. We were loaded up, even though I did do a lot of highway driving. But you know, all is forgiven just for the drive. And the standard air suspension is just beautiful. I mean, city centers with broken roads do not impress or bother this thing one little bit. With the night packages I mentioned, you get adaptive dampers, which means you get the absolute best of every conceivable scenario. You know, on the highway, the crosswinds were huge. And driving on the highway through the mountains to get to Grandpa's place, this thing tracked true. It was steady, flat. It feels so safe. It feels like it's in charge, and you're along for the ride, but in the best possible way, not in an autonomous, you know, we don't need you type of way. Steering is lovely. Brakes are powerful, responsive, and you do have a bunch of drive modes, so you can cater to however you're feeling through. I'm in comfort 95% of the time. I've been in comfort. You have an eco mode, which I've heard of. Something. You do have a sport mode. I mean, I've used it once just to see that yes, it does sharpen the transmission, but the 9-speed is so on the ball that you really don't need to tinker with that. And then there's individual where I have everything set in sport, except for the dampers, which are set in comfort. And I mean, that's it. You could not ever possibly need more than what this delivers. This is the type of vehicle that you load up the family with, and you say, let's head due south and drive for days and days and days until you get to, I don't know, Key West or something. Because you could in this thing. That's it. I love the GLS. Again, as far as luxury 3-row SUVs are concerned, this is my favorite one. As far as SUVs, all told, this is definitely in the top 5. I mean, obviously between $45,000 and $145,000. This thing is just brilliant. I love it.